What is up YouTube? I'm Royal, I'm rank 1 Wild Rift, and this is my tier list for patch 4.4D. Starting off with the mid lane. Jace is not just a god tier champion, he's the Ultra S++ god tier champion. I actually don't think I've seen a champion buffed to the extent that Jace has been buffed. He's the strongest champion in the game right now, no questions asked, and he will of course be god tier in the mid lane. Honestly, I would even put him a tier above Yone. Yone is still a god tier champion in the mid lane, however Jace would be a tier above him even. The S tier champions are pretty self-explanatory, we haven't seen too many changes. Orianna got changed a little bit, but it was actually, I think, a slight nerf. However, it's not enough to push her off the S tier. The Ziggs rework is coming out. Not too many changes realistically. He'll be a little easier to play and he'll take turrets down a little easier. However, I don't think that's enough to push him into god tier. Zyra, the new champion, is going to be an A tier. She is really strong. However, I do think she performs better as a support. Moving on to support, I'm actually missing Zyra from my tier list on screen. Does not matter, Zyra would be between god tier and S tier. Just depends on if they fix the bug, right? With the bugs he's god tier, without the bugs he's S tier. Pyke has joined the god tier after Riot even buffed even more of his gold income, which he already had a huge amount of. So Pyke will be joining the champions in god tier. Again, Zyra will be between god and S tier. I'm just missing the icon of her, but that's alright. Then the rest of the A tier champions are pretty self-explanatory. They're all really good. I would stay away from the B tier champions, however you can still play them if you enjoy them. Now let's move on to the ADC tier list, where it's gonna be pretty standard, not a lot of ADC changes. MF climbed the ladder to join the champions in A tier. Pretty much every champion above A tier is really good and viable. Vayne can be good with an enchantment support, however there's better options. Varus is of course... Varus and Ezreal have been god tier last patch and they will continue being god tier this patch. Especially Varus with his lethality, AP, on hit, crit. There's so many different builds you can do on him depending on the situation. Ziggs of course will be a great AP option after his rework, so he's gonna also be in the S tier. Moving on to the jungle where we saw most changes, we're finally gonna have a champion joining Lee Sin in the god tier, and that's Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix has received a decent buff. And the problem is he was already very close to god tier, and that decent buff was definitely not needed. It's another case of Riot just buffing really strong champions. Kha'Zix will be joining god tier. Darius got a nice quality of life change, so now he has no counterplay. Once he gets his stacks, he will destroy everyone with his ultimate. You can't stop it with stasis anymore, so that definitely puts Darius in S tier. Xin Zhao has also been moved to the S tier. I put him in A tier, but I wasn't very sure about it last time. But he definitely proved this patch that he's S tier material, so he'll be joining the S tier champions. Aatrox got a slight nerf as a jungler, but he's still a very good champion. Jace is an incredible champion, however his damage in the jungle is slightly nerfed, so his clear will be a little weaker. I do definitely think he's better in the mid lane and the Baron lane. The rest of the options seem pretty self-explanatory, I think. However, if you guys disagree with anything in my tier list, please comment down below. Let's start a dialogue, let's start a debate, and let's all get better together through sharing information. And finally, let's look at the Baron lane tier list. And here it becomes exciting because we saw quite a few changes, honestly. Garen is going to be moved to S tier since his ulti no longer has any counterplay. Jace will of course be the god tier champion. He does have a few bad matchups, but honestly these changes are too big. The buffs are too big. And most of the other changes seem self-explanatory. Honestly, all of the champions in S tier, Malphite joined as well after the armor buffs. Malphite would be god tier versus like heavy AD teams. And he would be like B tier versus heavy magic damage teams. So if the enemies are full AD, just pick Malphite and it's a free win. This champion can get so much armor now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you disagree with any of my opinions, please comment below. Let's start a dialogue, let's start a debate. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more Wild Rift videos.